Hello again, folks. Yes, let's get organised here. We've got stuff going on. So we're going to. Nice to see you again. Um, I've got the headphones on because we're going to try and start off with a song. This is when you really need Phil Kane. Where are you? So let's try and put this up a little bit. Try to balance this all out here. Come on, do what you're told. So, this is what. So there'll be lots of mistakes in this, but that's just life. So here we go. There's the first one.
Everything you had, and now you had a chance to chew it over, and it's not so bad. And when the sign on the wall told you that time came to call, you didn't want to do it, you didn't want to make that play. But something got you through it. You lived to fight another day. But lately I've been doing a lot of thinking. Been going through the back of my mind. I'm trying to figure out what it's all about, or maybe I'm just wasting time. Now when I think of those years, all of the sad and tears, I try to rearrange it, but I can never change my mind. 'Cause I'm going round in circles, it's time to leave it all behind. But lately I've been doing a lot of drinking. I'm trying to tell myself I'm just fine, but I've been crying in the dark, looking for a spark, coming to the end of the line. After the love's gone, all of the sad songs, there's a feeling that you knew it, but you could never work it out. And if you had a chance to do it over, would there still be doubt? It's over and now. It's over and now. It's over and now. It's over and now. That's when you need Phil Kane to come in and play the piano properly. Where are you, Phil? Come and help us.
Yeah, over and out. So, yeah, this was an album that I wanted to do, that I wanted to write on piano, or try and write on piano. So it was a difficult process. But it's great when you can get guys like Phil in to come and help you and play songs like that where they can just come in and nail it. But it's lovely trying to get your head round it, where all the notes are and stuff. Play a lot of black keys. Don't know why that is. There's no method to that. So yeah, Wednesday, is it? It's hard to know, isn't it? Yeah, so yeah, tough days. Some, hearing of some friends, families passing away, and yeah, at this tough old time. And I had I'm going to dedicate this. I'm going to do a wee song here, and I'm going to dedicate it to. I used to go to Paris. Used to go quite a bit, but one of the joys that I used to have in going to Paris was not bumping into, all these different stars and stuff, and can't even remember who I told lies about before. But yeah, it wasn't really bumping into those people. It was bumping into people that you knew. And I had a cousin in Paris, a girl called Betty Payton, who went on to be Betty Schiavone, and so I used to love going to Paris to bump into her, because she would take me to all these places, and remembering that I'm just a young guy, in my mid-20s, and I hadn't really saw that much. We weren't the kind of people, we didn't go to Paris on holiday or anything. We didn't, didn't go to Paris on holiday. Christ, we didn't go anywhere. Well, we did. We went to, my mum always made sure, and my folks always made sure that we got holidays. But we went to Blackpool and places like that, Portobello, women singing on the bus, stop the bus, I want a wee. So we used to go to there. We used to go to, I can't remember, wee fishing villages. And my granny sometimes would be with us, and she'd be gutting fish. This wee woman that had all these children, about 15 children, gutting fish, and so you would be running to the fishing boats as they were coming in. So we obviously knew that France existed, but it wasn't really until I got with the band that I started to experience Europe. I'd seen a wee bit of Canada. My mum and dad managed to get us out to Canada when we were younger. I think we won a scratch card. And the Asda, the Asdas, as my mum used to say, the Asdas, not Asda, the Asdas. For those of you that don't live in the UK, the Asdas, or Asda, is like a shop, like a supermarket, Tesco, or and it's something like that. So yeah, we never got to go to France or Spain or anywhere in Europe. The cheap holidays hadn't quite arrived in Europe yet, because we were still going to Blackpool, watching my old man beating guys up on the beach, and donkey rides, and scotching, and coming blistered to death with the sun. Well, my old man was up in the bookies. So I didn't really get to know Paris until I'd actually went there with the band, and amazingly I had this relative who was there, and she took me to all these amazing places, and she used to wear gloves that went up to here, and she would drink champagne with an olive in it and stuff, and take me to all these sort of really cool sort of bohemian places in Paris. And I was like, yeah, this is what I wanted to see. With the greatest respect to Blackpool and Canada and stuff, I enjoyed them, I loved them, but and get great memories of all of them. But I was more interested in the sort of culture, and maybe I wasn't interested in it, but when I saw it, I was there, So anyway, as the years roll by, this Betty and Paolo, I used to visit them, and then their son started getting bigger, and a wee guy called Vito. So I'm going to dedicate this song to him and to, because sadly Paolo passed away in Paris today, and those were amazing memories for me. So I wanted to sing this wee song just and then we'll talk a wee bit more.
I was down, there's no doubt. It took a whole lot of loving and believing to help me out. And I swore to the gods and goddesses I'd never ever dream again. I swore to my mother and the others I'd never let go. But you know,
Put that down a little bit.
it just came up as I went down, and I fell straight to my knees, put my head on the ground. It just arrived, though it was in disguise. And though it saw it coming straight at me, it was still a surprise. Ain't life a funny thing? Ain't life a funny thing? Take my name, take my hand. Took a whole lot of loving and believing to understand. And I swore to myself and to my lover I was never going back again. I swore to my mother and the others I'd never let go. But you know, it just came up as I went down, and I fell straight to my knees, put my head on the ground. It just arrived, though it was in disguise. And though I saw it coming straight at me, it was still a surprise. Ain't life a funny thing? Ain't life a funny thing? Whether you believe her in the power of love, or the man in the moon, or maybe just love, you gotta get them all together, get them in line. Then you start believing that everything's fine, and no amount of makeup's gonna hide this bruise. You can't kill a memory with unlimited booze, so you hide away forever. That's how it seems. The only way you live it out is live it in dreams. It just came up as I went down. I fell straight to my knees, put my head on the ground. It just arrived, though it was in disguise. And though I saw it coming straight at me, it was still a surprise. Ain't life a funny thing? Ain't life a funny thing? Ain't life a funny thing? No.
Yeah. So that's kind of remembering Paolo. Lovely wee man. Rest your cotton socks, pal. Ain't life a funny thing? Kind of started out Yeah, I mean, I guess it started out actually. The vision of Ain't Life a Funny Thing started in my house in Donegal. I was renting this beautiful house in Donegal, overlooking the lake, um, which was a loch actually, an Atlantic, a loch that flowed into the Atlantic. It was beautiful, and yeah, I just had this stunning house that just if these views were good, and they are, this was just spectacular. It didn't have the lovely Arran, but it was beautiful, and you could see dolphins and all manner of things. And yeah, and I sort of hit a real bad patch there at one point. I hit a real sort of poof, the skids, and things just went a bit pear shaped, and I was struggling to handle it, and struggling to figure out how I was going to handle it. And and it was almost like I almost see it today as like a vision almost of this, the black dog had came running up the stairs where I lived, um, and just brought me to my knees. I went to my knees, and fell into um, some really difficult depression, and sort of as I came out of those places and out of those, I tend to write about them, just for myself, just so that it's almost like a diary. And there's a couple of lines in that song where I say that, I told my mother and my brothers that I'd never let go, and I swore to my friends and to my lovers and my lover I was never going back again. And it was like, because I had run-ins with the depression before, so it was like not I'm not going back there, but just sometimes we're not in control of our own minds. So yeah, a lot of my, I mean, I guess anybody that writes, whether you write poetry or write anything really, they can be about, it's usually it's usually an autobiography. It's usually just you, writing out your life, and if you're not writing about your life, you're writing about someone else's life that you see. So yeah, ain't life a funny thing? Yeah, so oh, there's a train to Largs again. All the rich people going home. Tatty bye. That's terrible. So yeah, and yeah, so that's Ain't Life a Funny Thing. Over and Out. I don't know what Over and Out was about. I wanted to. Yeah, I don't really know. I'm trying to, because you've got me looking out lyrics and everything now. I guess that's just been, just being where you are again, and now, where you are at the time. There's a line in there. Lately, I've been doing a lot of drinking, and I guess maybe I was at that time. I probably was, anaesthetizing. But yeah, so yeah, Over and Out, and whatever else we played. Somebody asked me, actually, there's a good thing to mention. Everybody seems to be running out of requests. People are watching, which is great. So if you know any more requests, or know any other stories that I keep missing out, or you've told me already, just remind me, because the stories are all. Somebody asked me to tell a story about the girl in the chip shop. I used to, before we did the Butte Fest, which for anybody that doesn't know is a little songwriters festival that we do every year over in Rothesay, over in the lovely Isle of Butte, and. Before we had it there, we had it in we were doing it in Port Patrick for 6 or 7 years, And on the way down there one year, myself and James Newell, who's the brother of the guy who runs the hotel, the Port Patrick Hotel, Phil Newell, and we were going down there, and I think those guys wanted to get some chips or something, so I said, like, okay, the Milky Bars are on me, I'll get them this time. And for anybody who used to remember, knows me from a little way back, I used to wear these big black wraparound glasses. Bob Geldof said that I looked like Bono with them on. We were when I was playing a few dates with Geldof, he was on the bus and he was on to his sister. We were on the sort of little travelling bus. We were leaving. I think we were leaving from Perth to go to Ireland. And Geldof says, "Oh, for fuck's sake, would you look at them glasses? You're like fucking Bono or something." You know, I thought, fucking cheeky bastard, you know. And I had another pair of glasses, like a little normal, but not normal, but different style, a bit like these, only with black frames. And he was still on the phone to his sister, and I changed them. I thought, yeah, I'll change them over. And he turned round and went, "Oh, for fuck's sake, it's Eric Morecambe." I joined Geldof's company. Here we go, name dropping again. I'll go and get the brush. Yeah, it was an interesting dates. But anyway, back to the story. I might get Geldof to come to Butte one day. Bob, I know you're probably watching these. So when you watch the next one, think about it. You know, think about Butte. You know you want to come and do Rat Trap and Mondays and all those songs that I used to love and still love, and went to the I was going to say the Barlands. It was the Apollo to see the Boomtown Rats. It was at Christmas. They were all wearing Christmas hats. It was magic. So yeah, Sir Bob, come along. Feel free to ring me at any point, and we'll get you along. I'll do Rat Trap with you acoustically. It's a shame Paul Lennon wasn't alive. He Rat Trap. She Says. He was good at the She Says bits. He had a competition on Radio Clyde when he was young, and he had to write in. Oh, did you have to write in? No, you used to phone in, and it was with a DJ, and the DJ, who was it again? Tiger Tim, Radio Clyde. Radio Clyde, Glasgow, for anybody that doesn't know. Tiger Tim, big DJ, and you had to phone in, and then you had to name your song, and he would get you to do a bit, and he asked Paul, and Paul and I, we were in our punk suits. My name was Fungus Saliva, and he didn't have a punk name. He was too scared in case his mum found out. And Tiger Tim said to him, "All right, every time in the song it says, she says, she walks up to traffic like she said, you have to do that. Pushed in the button, and the button, it says, walk, don't walk. It says, you know, you did she says and all this stuff." And he done it all, and we get sent these records from Radio Clyde, which were like Dolly Parton's cousin, Jeannie Parton. And so that was his moment of glory, and he rushed across to the neighbours, Mr. Bradley's, to get the radio, and Mr. Bradley, I'm going to be on the radio. It's my big moment. And I never actually, annoyingly, I never told Bob Geldof that when I was doing the few dates with him. But yeah, so I'll get on to Butte, but one very quick story in case you don't know. One time I was playing in London, and I rang Mr. Geldof up, and but the phone rang, and it was on a kind of it was on a international tone. I thought, oh shit, I better hang up. He must be abroad or somewhere. And just as I was about to hang up, hello. Terrible Bob Geldof impersonation. Hello. And I said, "Oh, it's JJ here. How you doing? Sorry, I was going to hang up there because I heard the foreign tone ring, and I heard the foreign ringtone, and because I was going to invite you to London to the show because he lives in London." Is JJ, I'm in fucking Africa. But anyway, so yeah, oh dear, 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 I'm in fucking Africa. Right, you won't be coming. That's fine, you know. So that was interesting, but it was great. We did a few shows with Geldof. Anyway, back to Butte. I digress. Back to Butte or Port Patrick actually, and we're on our way down. James wants some chips, and we we stop off in this chip shop, and there's a real atmosphere. I've got the big fucking Bob Geldof, you know, Bono fucking shades on, and the there's a real vibe in the chip shop, and it's this girl. She's really drunk, and she's shouting at everybody, and it was the rest of them were guys, and they were all scared. And the guy who was the chip shop guy who was doing all the frying and stuff and frying the fish and chips, he was terrified. And she was still shouting when I get in, you know, and I established the fact that she was holding court. And I said, look, come on, you know, Kofi Annan, you know, come on, let's get calmed down a bit here, you know, this is not good. And she said to me, oh, shut your effing face or something. And she goes back to shouting at the guy who's frying the fish and chips. And I thought, only trying to help, you know. And she says, she then turns around and she goes, and anyway, you look like Deirdre Barlow with those big fucking stupid glasses on. And later on that night when we got, for anybody that doesn't know, Deirdre Barlow is in Coronation Street. She wears these big glasses. I'll try and wear a pair one day. And so yeah, that night when the following night we were doing Port Patrick, and the guy said, oh, you must tell the story on stage. So I told it on stage. But unbeknownst to me, the guy who was doing the lights and who was doing the video screen found a picture of Deirdre Barlow. And when I mentioned Deirdre Barlow, poof, a big picture of Deirdre Barlow came up on the screen. So yeah, so a long way around to the conclusion of that. You know, you shut your face and you look like Deirdre Barlow with those big stupid glasses on. I got my chips and tried to. That was the end of my, world order. After that, Kofi Annan was put to bed. So yeah, maybe should I do one more song and then we might leave it for today, or I don't know what to do anymore. Yeah, maybe we'll try something on the, because we're getting brave on the piano now, aren't we?
You were never alone, even through tears and the clouds. This town you'd outgrown, and you're high on illusions of magic. You're untied, though the world can be frantic. Like the way you were down, you cried like a king that had just lost his crown.
It's the wrong chords.
Oh, very well. An old high school dance, you went off like a gun. You slashed all the lights as you started to run to the end of the street. It's a story you don't want to hear, but you've nothing to fear. Go, only go, only go. You're not alone. Out in a colorless night, love and the will to survive, a man's only right. And you cry, 'cause I know run tight, though the world can be frantic. No one's been down like the way you were down. You cried like a king that had just lost his crown. It's a matter of fact, you would always know very clear. An old high school dance, you went off like a gun, and you smashed all the lights as you started to run to the end of the street. It's a story you don't want to hear, but you've nothing to fear. Go, only go, only go. You're not alone. You were never alone. You were never alone.
See, that's why you need Phil. Oh, excuse me. Snotters are blinding me. It's cold. Yeah, so that's why you need Phil for these things. Anyway, yeah, that was a story about that. Gold was You Were Never Alone.
An old high school dance, you went off like a gun. Started to plan as you started to run through the end of the street. It's a story you don't want to hear.
It's a story I didn't want to hear. That was about my expulsion from school, about being expelled from school by Bob Crampsey, who expelled me. I just couldn't get expelled by like somebody normal. It had to be, somebody that was in the media, or somebody that was, who was the brain of Britain. And, anybody else would get just expelled by Mr. Brown, but not me, Bob Crampsey. And I was more embarrassed because my mum she was working in the school. She was a cleaner in the school, and that annoyed me more than anything. So yeah, that was an expulsion, and I think I either it doesn't really matter what happened after it. It wasn't my proudest moment, but years later I wrote a song about it, and then years later I met Bob. I was at some event in Glasgow, and he had given me a stern warning, pardon me, when he expelled me, and he said to me, if you keep going the way you're going to amount to nothing. And he was right. He was right. If I was, because I was on that path. So I met him years later, and I think I'd also met his daughter, who had came to one of the Silencers concerts in the Barrowlands. And I think I jokingly said, if please tell your dad I was asking for him, and tell him that I managed to stay out of prison, and go on to have a wee bit of a career in the music industry, and then when I met him, he told me that he knew about it, and that he was fair chuffed, because obviously he knew my mum from working in the school. So yeah, that was You Were Never Alone, played really badly. Phil Kane, the social distancing, and I don't know how to use the computers. But anyway, I think that'll do us for today. That's enough of my babble. Don't run out of songs to ask for, or any other daft wee stories. None of them true. Anyway, tatty bye.